Howdy, Mark Serbu, gun designer, gun nut. You know, I wasn't gonna do a video on the whole Alec Baldwin thing because it's already been done to death.
Breaking news tonight, actor Alec Baldwin fired the prop gun that has killed a cinematographer.
Sheriff's deputies in Santa Fe, New Mexico confirmed the movie's director of cinematography, Helena Hutchins, died, and 48-year-old director Joel Souza was hurt.
Then I realized I've actually got guns that are out there being used in Hollywood TV and movie productions. I mean, you don't have to walk far in my beautiful, spotless shop. Ooh, yeah, look at that, baby. To see that my guns have been used in the movies. Click right here.
I'll be back.
So I think I've got a point of view that nobody else has, so here you go. Inspired by Alec Baldwin, I actually went out and bought this gun that I had never heard of, which is called a Pieta. It's an Italian gun. It's a copy of a Colt, a classic Colt single action army. And this is what Alec Baldwin had, and I kind of wanted one for a long time, so I went ahead and bought it because it was my birthday the other day, and happy birthday to me, right? This one's kind of cool. It's a 45 Colt. It says 45 Colt on there, and it's 45 long Colt, and it's also 45 ACP with a different cylinder. And I've got the 45 ACP cylinder because I've got lots of 45 ACP rounds. I don't have any 45 long Colt rounds. So anyway, right off the bat, the first thing we see is the classic 4 clicks when you pull the hammer back. Yeah, the 4 clicks is important. Yeah, and there's no way the hammer will ever come forward. You pull the hammer back without touching the trigger, nothing happens. Like you said, oh, I didn't pull the trigger.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't pull the trigger. Bullshit. Now, in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. And then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. And then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
There's just no way that he pulled the hammer back and it went forward. There are 4 different positions that it will stop on before it gets to where it'll just go forward. So when I heard that, I'm like, man, that kind of reminds me of something back from the 90s.
I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't inhale.
Yeah, the only way to get the hammer to drop, you have to have the trigger pulled. Trigger pulled, yeah, hammer will go forward all day long. Without it, no.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
I would have to say that he didn't remember correctly, or he's just freaking lying. Even if he just pulled the hammer back and let it go with his finger on the trigger, which is the only way the hammer will go forward, it's still an accident, but God, you know, who knows? Is anybody going to give him a polygraph test? I don't know. I definitely think he's, at the very least, he's just wrong. He had to have his finger on the trigger. There's no way.
I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
What did you think happened?
Me being a guy who actually has my guns in the movies, in the hands of the different prop houses, I can tell you those guys, they don't modify the guns except to maybe put something in the board to allow for a blank firing adapter, but that's only for semi-auto or full automatic stuff. They don't need it for a revolver. So a revolver, you wouldn't do anything to. They're just as they are. Nobody's going to go in there and grind off all the various little notches that make this thing stop, you know. And you wouldn't just have a gun that you can't stop the hammer with the trigger. That's absurd. No one would modify the gun like that. So I think he's full of crap. Well, I hope you've understood and appreciated what I've presented here and have taken it for what it is. Just one guy's semi-expert opinion on the mechanics of the gun used in this tragic event. But the bottom line here is that Alec Baldwin shot and killed someone. Doesn't matter if you pull the trigger or not, same net result. And while most gun people are a little glad it happened to gun hater Alec Baldwin, this was a terrible tragedy for everyone involved, and we shouldn't wish it on anyone. You ready? Fire in the hole! A man will be haunted for the rest of his life for what he did, and he still has the possibility of criminal charges. A woman who would never have guessed in a million years that she'd be killed at work was. A 9-year-old boy no longer has his mother, and a husband has lost his wife. And even the director, you think he's ever contemplated getting shot at work? Hell, I work in a gun factory and I don't expect that ever happening to me. Is it possible? Did they actually send me another light? Oh my god. Oh, and no, they sent me an empty box. Or I'm betting that the light was taken out of here and put somewhere else. That sure seems logical, doesn't it? Where would you be if you were a through night light? Where would you be hiding in my office? Because there's crap all over the place. Here's something interesting. This is a 400 kilovolt coil. You just got to put between, I don't know, 4 and 8 volts in it in this end, and it puts out 400 kilovolts in this end. I was gonna make a bug shocker out of it, or a rodent shocker. We'll see. Look for that in an upcoming video. All right, I'm gonna find this light. Ah, look at that. There it is. Yeah, isn't that a great postcard? Yeah, great. So here it is, the Through Night TW10, and yes, it's cool. Okay, that's it. So, what does it do? Well, all right, I changed settings here, so I was actually able to focus, which is kind of nice when you're trying to view something, right? Black Scout Survival. So this is obviously racist. Figures they sent it to me, but kind of odd. I think it would say White Scout Survival. Whatever. So this clamps on your Glock or whatever else you have that's got a pseudo Mill 1913 rail, otherwise known as a Picatinny rail. And I will go ahead and stick that sucker on there. And you don't need to see that because I've only got one hand right now because I'm not using my tripod because I'm being lazy. So back in a second. All right, and through the magic of video, look at that. And look, it's perfect. It's like they knew that maybe someone would try to stick it on a Glock. They must have found a Glock over there in China somewhere. Those sneaky guys. So, yeah, fits on there great. Takes, not even a minute to put it on there. And the beauty is, once you've got it on there, it's right at your fingertips. The button. Very easy. So that's pretty neat. And of course, it's ambidextrous. Got a little button on each side. And you know what's too bad is that right there. That's actually, let me see if I can look down the sights. Yeah, that's actually a bullet trap. But if I shot into that bullet trap right now, YouTube would get mad and demonetize me, so I'm not going to do it. But I have done it before. I'll go ahead and admit it. Anyway, this is a very, very bright light. As usual, you can't tell with a camera that has, auto exposure because it'll just, you see what it does? It like starts out being super bright and then it's just, yeah, this thing is insane. I've actually got a video I took from my airplane where I had the airplane landing lights and I'm taxiing along and I whipped out my little through night flashlight and it blew away the landing lights from a freaking airplane. That's pretty amazing. So these guys make badass bright lights. Link below for how to order this thing. I don't even know which Glock this is. I got so many guns. I've got a real problem. Alrighty, well thanks for watching this, and run out and buy one of these and tell my friends at Through Night that you bought it because of me, because I hoard out their product so well. Okay, thank you. Well, thanks for your time as usual. I always appreciate your taking time out of your day to see what I've got to say. So what do you think? Did Alec Baldwin pull the trigger? Was firing the gun an accident or on purpose? Will he get arrested? Do you care? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed the holidays and had a great new year. Catch you next time.